results. Late Model Racecraft. We talking or we racing?
Alright guys, we are in Mr. Farrington's 2022 ZL1-1LE. I know we build a lot of these things, and the first thing you notice when you hop in one is how much stiffer the suspension is than a normal Camaro SS or Camaro ZL1. Right away, you put this thing in even touring mode. The stiffness of the suspension is almost, in my opinion, feels stiffer than a regular ZL1 in sport or track mode. So I have it in sport right now, and the bumps on the road, I mean, you feel them, but these cars are made and were built from GM to be able to buy it and go straight to a road course and absolutely rip and have fun taking turns at high speeds. Mr. Farrington, he is in Texas, shipped us the car. Our most common package is our 800 horsepower package. He wanted the sound, more horsepower, reliably. Want to be able to hop in it, weekend toy, and just go have fun with 93 octane, and not have anything to worry about. And again, I know I say it all the time because it is our most common package for your average weekend warrior. I mean, we pick up 150 rear wheel horsepower over stock. This thing made, I think, 524 rear wheel horsepower stock. On 93, it made 675 rear wheel horsepower. And what's badass, 675 rear wheel torque. So this thing, as soon as you stab it, it's gonna put us in this seat and go. We are on Michelin's all the way around, so I'm gonna do a third gear pull, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna spin from, I'll say 60 to probably, I'll just say 80 before it fully hooks up completely. But again, I always leave traction control on to kind of share with you guys how it does. Now, if we put a Toyo on it, obviously I think third gear would hook up nice. Second gear would then obviously have still some traction issues with traction control turned off. But all in all, these cars, once we're done with them, again guys, we build these things to be super reliable, enjoyable to drive, and at the same time, you pull into a car show or a parking lot and want to show your buddies. People hear this thing pulling into a parking lot and they're like, damn, he definitely has something done to it. And again, your average weekend warrior that just wants to enjoy their cars. They're not racing these 1,000+ horsepower cars over and over again, or going to a drag strip to set a record or a half-mile event to set a record. A car like this is an enjoyable, and for most people, enough horsepower to have fun with, to not only scare you the first time you drive it, but most people that ride shotgun in cars that haven't been in fast sports cars before. But again, the 1LE, guys, to me, it's all in all a nice base to start with if you do want a weekend toy to enjoy, because not everyone just likes to go in a straight line. So a lot of people like taking turns, you know, at higher speeds, and a car like this with the tires heated, it will stick the turns pretty well. But I'm still gonna go ahead and, as always, I want to check our shift points, because we do have it so he can run it in manual mode. And again, I'm gonna do third gear. I think it's gonna still spin just because of how much torque this thing makes on this street tire. And then we'll check the log out once we're done.
Quarter mile.
higher number I don't want to tell y'all right now, but this thing ripped. It spun like crazy in third gear, as expected, with the kind of torque this thing makes. Again, put a nice toy on the back of it and it'll hook up perfect. And even spinning so bad, I think it was still roughly a 6, what was it, a 6.6 or a 6.7, 60 to 130, and then I don't want to say the other times that we ran in Mexico just then, but it was still, in this weather, it's already getting hot here in Houston, so it's doing phenomenal. And again, your average person driving a car like that, it feels fast as shit, and it's still a handful. Y'all saw me driving it. That's with traction control on. But this car, to me, like, I wish I had our other LMR proving grounds to take y'all for a ride around a road course in a car like this, so you can see how many G's this thing will pull with the right tires on it, with heat in the tires before it wants to kick the back end out, or even push for that matter. These cars, again, they're built for road racing. Give me a second, let me save all this, and then I'll go over what we just did. Alright, so Mr. Farrington, I still don't have the answer yet. When y'all see under the hood of this thing, it looks phenomenal. We did one of our billet lids on it, and we always let our customers sometimes pick some custom stuff that they want to do. As always, we go over the builds with them and what their needs and goals are, and if there's any crazy stuff they want done, and if we can do it, we will do it. The billet lid on this thing looks so good. Powder coated black with, it looks like the Cocaine Bear on it, with Late Model Racecraft written on the sides. It looks sick. I don't know the background story to it. I think Mr. Farrington's an Army guy, so I think it has something to do with that. Maybe later in this video, or even before I'm talking now, someone will explain the reason for the bear on there, but it actually turned out pretty badass when you pop the hood and look at it. So anyways, back to the log. The pull we just made spun really bad. I was right as far as when it would hook up. We were at the LMR proving grounds, rolled into it, and finally about 72 miles per hour, it finally hooked up where we had all the timing in it, and she took off from there. And what I'm looking at, guys, is the shift points, air fuel timing, and intake air temps. So I say a lot, these 1.7 liter superchargers, they can get hot when you spin the blowers hard. For our packages, depending on which one you're doing, we always take into account the blower speed. There's no point in me spinning the supercharger harder to make 1 or 2 more pounds of boost, to make a little bit better number on the dyno, just for it to heat soak on the street and lose not only that little horsepower we gain, but maybe even another 30, 40, or even 50 horsepower more if it heat soaks really bad. So first thing I'm looking at is shift points. 6,800 RPMs roughly is where we shift these with this camshaft that we installed. All the shift points look great. The timing in it for pump gas, nice and safe. We don't see any detonation, meaning we don't see any knock retard on the scanner. And fuel pressure is always, we need the low side to stay above 60. Usually it's about 70 to 75 depending on the setup, but usually anything over 60 and it's consistent, that's good for the low side. That will keep our high side happy. Especially this car on 93, we have no fuel pressure problems. And as far as intake air temp, so again, for this package, we have these packages again nailed down pretty good, especially when it comes to the blower speed, to give you the user the end result that you want, that is a reliable car making as much horsepower as you can reliably, right? So intake air temps, it is hot outside today, but intake air temp started off the pull at it's like 145, and to be honest, it only went to 146 there. By the end of the long pull I made, we got up to 151. So even making the longer pull than I normally make, we went from 145 to, let's call it 151. The other manifold air temp, the highest it read at the very end of the pull was 165. And on a stock blower like this, going that speed with the heat outside is not bad at all. To put it into perspective, it's only pulling out 0.5 degrees of timing. And then that's just stuff that we do. I know certain temperatures at where the timing needs to be pulled to keep the engine running safe and reliable. So this thing can do this over and over again without having anything to worry about. Or if he is on a road course, it is a 1LE car, he wants to road race this thing, if air temps do go through the roof, or if it has an air pocket in the heat exchanger system where the water stops flowing through the bricks, obviously that's not a good thing. The bricks can get really hot and crack, but as far as the engine goes, it will just pull out a whole bunch of timing to keep the engine, keeping the pistons in one piece without them detonating. So I hope, again, I know I say this a lot, I hope I'm not boring y'all with some of this stuff. I just kind of want to explain to y'all what I'm looking at when I go out and make these logs. Obviously, just to test the vehicle to make sure it shifts good, drives good, no exhaust rattles, all the basic stuff. But also then when it comes to tuning it and what I'm looking at behind my laptop here as far as torque numbers, to make sure the torque numbers are good so it can shift good as far as shift pressure, what the torque converter is doing with an automatic car. There's quite a lot that goes into it, but again, we do a lot of these so we have them perfected. So you Camaro owners out there, whether it's a Camaro SS, a ZL1, or a ZL1-1LE like this customer, feel free to hit us up. Go to our website, fill out an inquiry, and we can give you a couple different estimates, a couple different options. Then one of our sales staff can contact you and kind of feel out your needs and goals so we can get you the right package for you. But Mr. Farrington, man, I think your baby's ready to go. I'm gonna get it back to the shop, get it cleaned up, and I believe he'll probably come in town to pick it up. I don't know, we might be shipping it back. But if he does come in town, hopefully I'll get Jason, my media guy, to get a video of an explanation of the bear under the hood. Until next time, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. We got plenty more in the pipeline. I'm trying to keep up. We do so many builds. I wish I could show every single one of them. So those of you that do send us cars, try to leave us a note if you do want yours featured on our channel, and we'll do our best to make it happen. But we build so many cars a week, it's hard for me to film every single one of them. But again, hope y'all are enjoying the channel, guys. As always, comment below on this vehicle, on this video, what you like, what you don't like, and what you'd like to see in the future.